SkullFace Records and Cannibalistic Death Cult present the Hora Occultus.
The grave threat to our nation, to our freedom, to the peace of the world.
An exercise in nihilism.
It is a fact that human lives are cheap.
We'll be playing SkullFace's best selection of hardcore punk, metal, and experimental music.
Yeah, we expected you to.
Also stay tuned for the riveting social commentary.
Again, you show your stupidity by assuming that we are like you.
We got Lord Thaddeus, the German-Irish hillbilly, and Duke the Mises, the American Indian Cholo.
Let me show you how wrong you are.
We started off with a track from Shocker. Really dig this one, check it out.
A beautiful sight of your blood on our bayonets.
Greetings, you petulant swine. This is Lord Thaddeus and Duke the Mises representing Cannibalistic Death Cult on this, the Hora Occultus. We've got a couple of topics for today's episode, first episode. Why don't you start us off there, Duke the Mises?
So I just found out that the boys are actually coming back September 4th, and my favorite thing is to be able to theorize where all the characters are going to happen, what's going to happen next.
Well, just in case anyone's been living under a rock during the quarantine, the boys is superheroes as they would be if they were actually in the real world. That is, they're going to be selfish, they're going to be terrible, they're basically going to prove Nietzsche right more than he's already been proven.
And also be corporatized.
Corporatized, because nothing says America like
corporations.
Crushing the soul out of something. But if you haven't checked it out, it's really good. Highly recommend it.
Also, spoiler warning, because I'm going to spoil a lot of shit.
Well, we are just spoilers of good times. That's kind of our modus operandi.
Yeah.
I mean, you have heard the songs that Cannibalistic Death Cult has released, so we're definitely not afraid to hurt anyone's feelings here, or basically just engage in any manner of satanic weaseldry.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched the show, that's your own fault. So that's what you get for listening to us. So favorite character, and go.
Favorite character? Frenchie.
Frenchie. Frenchie, like myself, is a white man who enjoys the Asian ladies. So I'm certainly identifying with him strongly.
He doesn't enjoy the Asian ladies.
He is obsessed with one.
But
okay,
his girlfriend was white.
Okay, and that means what?
That means
variety
he's not obsessed with them.
Variety is the spice of life.
But that means he's not obsessed with them. He enjoys just people.
He enjoys just people, really, because he hates the African American individual in the show, which, by the way, according to the standards of now, makes you basically a Nazi and literally Hitler.
No. He loves mama's milk.
Mother's milk.
But the problem is, Mother's Milk doesn't like Frenchie.
They don't like one another.
No. Frenchie has no problems with Mother's Milk.
He has a lot of problems with Mother's Milk.
The entire scene in the subway where Mother's Milk gets mad at him and stuff like that, it's because he is doing his passion.
He's following his passion. He's not following reality, and that is exactly
also just not
what we are doing
orders.
here on this SkullFace Records Radio exclusive Hora Occultus. That is a Cannibalistic Death Cult. That is the Lord Thaddeus, the terrible lead guitar player and vocalist, and also our ever so hardworking manager and producer, Duke the Mises. So we're going to go ahead and cue up a song now. What does your doom metal loving ass want to hear? What can Cannibalistic Death Cult do for you?
You know what Cannibalistic Death Cult can do for me is why am I blanking on this name now? Megumi's Menstruation.
Menstruating Megumi.
Menstruating Megumi.
That is not a song that we are going to play here because it is not releasable. You can, however, pick a different song that actually has...
If that's the case, then we're going to go with the Devil's Lettuce.
Devil's Lettuce.
Timeless classic right there.
Timeless classic. That is... if I were Rick Astley, that would be my... Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, because, it's everyone's favorite, and I'm kind of tired of listening to it, but...
Bear in mind,
because Lord Thaddeus cares so little about all of you, I'm going to expose you to this brain-rotting material which was designed by communist infiltrators to subjugate everything you hold dear in a nihilistic, satanic, destructive fashion. So here we go. This is Devil's Lettuce.
Bear in mind, we were not trying to rickroll you.
But you were rickrolled, so deal with it. All right, check this.
Marijuana? Sure. A guy can't ever get enough of that.
Moral decay weakens our resistance to the onslaught of the communist masters of disease.
narcotics and hallucinogens.
You are listening to the Lord Thaddeus and Duke Themisis.
That is exclusively on SkullFace Records Radio. So, we're back again. That was Devil's Lettuce by Kentucky's own Lord Thaddeus and Reverend Fu Manchu. That song is about the infinite dangers and evils of marijuana and how you should never, ever use that illicit substance.
It is so terrible for you.
It is so terrible.
How dare you?
You're basically Jeffrey Dahmer and Adolf Hitler's love child at
Don't
that
even
point.
say the name. It's so terrible.
Yes, we do not dignify that substance here with comment. So
So the thing that I would really want to bring up and talk about right now is incels, and why do they even exist?
well, they exist because evolution. You got genetics and whatnot, and also that I think correlates somewhat to negative personality traits.
Negative personality traits,
yeah.
I can agree with, but here's the thing. We've evolved into having societies where we can talk to women. We know how to associate with women and how to respect them as women. Why does this mean that us just being friendly to women, that means they have to have sex with us?
I was nice to you, so you owe me sex, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. So nice guys, the incels and stuff like that, why is that a thing?
Actual nice guys do get laid, but you know who gets laid the most? Assholes. But here's the thing, they're not awkward assholes. So,
well, the other thing that I would like to point out.
what the hell?
Oh, wow.
Is that
Beelzebubba?
what? Is that Beelzebub?
Get the fuck out of here, Beelzebubba.
We've got a redneck demon that is coming in and just basically pops up and says random things in terrible ecclesial Latin.
Yeah, I
I summoned him earlier.
ladies and gentlemen, I apologize because of that rude interruption by the demon, but
He must be an incel. He might be the spirit of incel.
think that's what it
Explain
is.
for the uninitiated. What is an incel?
Oh, the incels are people who are specifically males who are
Involuntarily celibate.
involuntary celibate. They're incelia for themselves.
Which basically means they're socially awkward to the point.
They can't get laid.
Even well, I think a lot of that just boils down to pitching out of their league.
Well,
I mean, if you're a neckbeard,
if you listen
with
like their whole argument is they are just so awkward that they cannot get laid.
which is, if there was ever an argument for the legalization of prostitution, I think look at the incels and, you know.
I like the fact that you would bring up legalizing prostitution, which, by the way, I think should actually happen, but not for this fucking reason.
I think that dueling should be legalized.
Yeah, I don't agree with you on that.
Well, then you're wrong, but that's okay. You're wrong about a lot of things.
Wait. How the hell is dueling?
Hey, you don't have to involve the state in it, do you? We got too many people in the world.
Well, no, that's the entire point. Is you
right.
have to
You're talking to a guy
to make it legalized. You
a,
have to involve the state into being able to say dueling is okay.
Yeah, but dueling was okay until we passed laws against it.
Yeah, Hamilton actually said it was fought against it, and after Hamilton died, they legalized it because it was an archaic way of handling business.
It's a better way of handling business instead of what's more entertaining?
No. I mean,
two losers on Twitter arguing about subtle differences between political parties, or two guys having a gunfight after slapping each other.
More entertaining, yes.
Much more entertaining.
Yes, I agree with you.
You're gonna have to hold the phone right
and
there.
A lot more people would shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
But
listen. Keep in mind who you're talking to right now. You're talking to a guy who wrote a song called "Drinking Menstrual Blood."
Uh-huh.
All right. I obviously don't have that positive of an attitude about humanity in general, so people killing each other that doesn't involve me is kind of a-okay.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That also leads into the situation where people could call you out.
Yeah, and
but here's the thing. It's an
brand a C on my face and call me a coward because I'm not participating in your duel. But if two jackasses want to participate in a duel, more power to them.
Pay-per-view. No. This is the thing. All right.
Let's say. A male feminist.
Take every Twitter feed.
Okay, forget about Twitter for just a minute. All right.
Comment.
Let me wrap your mind around this. Okay. I want you to imagine a male feminist going up. Mm-hmm. At a Comic-Con, a male feminist going up to an incel, slapping him with a Full Metal Alchemist gauntlet, saying, I demand satisfaction, okay? And then they go and have a gunfight after that.
See,
how does anyone lose?
You are assuming.
How does anyone lose? We're not losing a cancer cure.
Situation.
We're not losing a cancer cure with either.
Thing, all right? Is that you're also assuming that, like, if it just becomes a natural thing, you're also assuming the entire cast of Game of Thrones would not be fucking decimated.
Why?
And
they were decimated. You did watch the show, right?
Because the fans at the end fucking hated it.
Okay, cool. And they challenged them to duels, and all they have to do is refuse. Okay,
like Arya is going to kill a lot of people.
Keep in mind, I am a Nordic Satanist, but I was born in Central Kentucky. Okay, I used to walk down the street, in my Misfits shirt, and then it would be hot as hell, and then some Karen would drive by, roll down their window, and be like, "Oh, thank God, it must be one of my mom's friends. I'm going to get a ride, so I don't have to walk in the sweltering heat." Okay, and all she says is, "You need to get yourself into church, young man," okay? I'm saying one does not have to bow down to societal pressures. You can refuse the duel. The incel could be like, whatever, you white knight, cock. I'm not going to challenge your duel because that's a symbol of the matriarchy, and that's really the problem now. It's matriarchy, and women need to.
You're also saying that's going to be you. Because you're not going to accept those challenges.
Okay, cool. I'm already stigmatized by society, so...
What I'm saying is that I don't think you need that kind of pressure. It's life or death to make art. To be able to make stuff.
Well, it's not about making art. It's about, you said something I don't like. I challenge you to a duel. Okay, I refuse.
You know what?
It's a voluntary action.
You know what would be cool? And it's something that I actually subscribe to, and something that's already been done, would be a boxing match.
Yeah, but fencing would be cooler. Like actual blades chopping each other into little bits.
But they don't actually cut each other.
Speaking of chopping each other into little bits,
that's people hitting each other.
Yeah. You do. I just would prefer that they eliminate themselves from the gene pool. Okay, so that being said, speaking of people being chopped to bits, we're going to go ahead and cue the next track. This will be another one by Cannibalistic Death Cult. I apologize in advance, but this one is called Damned Priestess. Check it out.
You are listening to Lord Thaddeus and Duke J.
That is the Hora Occultus. You are tuning in now on SkullFace Records Radio. So that was Damned Priestess. Really cool video, I think at least, of recycled public domain footage. That's available on YouTube. Also, SkullFace Records Facebook and the Cannibalistic Death Cult Facebook and Instagram.
You sound like every DJ was like, hey, and then check this out.
And speaking of checking stuff out, so during the break, obviously we pre-record this, but I became aware of and sometimes I become aware of a band.
I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
It really bothers me that I haven't found out about them sooner, but I'm glad that I found out about them. There's not a lot of raw black metal coming out of Central Kentucky, and we really have to stick together. But
it surprises me because same as you, I feel bad because I haven't heard about these guys either. But these guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's really good, and the band name is incredible. Like, I'm kind of upset that I didn't come up with this first. Glass Coffin.
Yes.
Glass Coffin.
That's the thing, is like, I say that Cannibalistic Death Cult is awesome just because it's awesome. But I get where you're coming from. It's a good name, but I
just kind of wish I'd come up with it first. I'll be honest with you. If I was Glass Coffin, I would feel better about myself.
Glass Coffin they are one of the premier black metals coming out of Kentucky,
of Central Kentucky, and specifically, besides Cannibalistic Death Cult, we're gonna take it out of SkullFace for just a little bit. I don't really have the label information, but I have talked to the guy. We got his permission to put this out there, so give it a listen. This is Glass Coffin. And this track is called Baptized by the Blood of the Night. Great fucking song title. All right, check it.
All right, so that's going to wrap up our show for now. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Quick shout out, of course, as always, to the mighty Nick Himes and SkullFace Records and all the other associated artists on that wonderful label. Speaking of SkullFace and other artists that I particularly enjoy, this next track is by Valanian. They're going to take us home with To the In-Between here on SkullFace Records Radio. Check it.
Secrets of
All right, so that's going to wrap up our show for now. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Quick shout out, of course, as always, to the mighty Nick Himes and SkullFace Records and all the other associated artists on that wonderful label. Speaking of SkullFace and other artists that I particularly enjoy, this next track is by Valanian. They're going to take us home with To the In-Between here on SkullFace Records Radio. Check it.